Immanuel Quickley slipped to the 25th pick in this year's NBA draft, going behind players such as his college teammate Tyrese Maxey, Josh Green, and the literal worst basketball player I've ever seen, Alexis Pokusevski. But through 25 games, Quickley has already proven to be a major draft steal for the Knicks, putting up averages of 12.5 points per game, nearly 2.5 boards, nearly 3 assists on 41, 38, and 94 shooting splits. And I have reason to think that Immanuel Quickley will be so much more than just a good player that slipped down NBA teams' draft boards. I think Immanuel Quickley is a future NBA superstar. So let's start out with how Quickley gets his buckets. He's an elite scorer with a deadly signature shot, the floater. 35% of all of Quickley's shots are floaters, and he is exceptional at converting them. On 82 floaters this season, he's made 40 of them, which equates out to 48.7%. The touch that Quickley possesses on his floaters is flat out amazing, but it isn't the only thing that makes him special. What makes Quickley's offensive game so special is how he's able to capitalize on defenders' bad decisions to score. He uses his elite burst and screens to get into the lane and then forces switching or collapsing defenders to make a decision when he slows down. If you hesitate for even a second, IQ will create the necessary separation and put up his signature floater right in your mouth. And if you collapse on him and try to close out on his ever-dangerous floater, Quickley will use his shiftiness and change of pace to drive right past his defender to the rack and use his elite touch to finish. And it really doesn't matter who is defending Quickley at the rim anyway. His 6'10 wingspan and deep bag of finishing moves give him a certain advantage over anyone trying to stop him. While Quickley only attempts 5.2% of his shots at the rack, when he does get there, he finishes effectively, knocking down his at-rim attempts at a clip of 66.7% this season. But getting into the lane and at the rim aren't the only way that Immanuel Quickley gets his buckets. Simply put, he's one of the greatest volume rookie shooters that we've ever seen. IQ attempts 46.4% of his shots from behind the arc and has knocked them down at a 37% clip this season. Only 16 other rookies in NBA history have shot as efficiently on as many attempts from deep as Quickley has this season. That's an extremely short list that includes rookie shooters such as Stephen Curry, Buddy Hield, Landry Shamet, and two of the most prolific rookie shooters we've ever seen from this very season and the same draft class as Quickley, Tyrese Halliburton and Saddiq Bey. But what separates IQ from most of the guys on this list is that most of his threes and shots come from his own creation anyway. Only 30 of his 96 made field goals this season have been assisted. Plus, Quickley is shooting 41.7% on step-back threes this season and 42.9% on pull-up threes this year. Quickley's deadly 4-millisecond release, step-back, space creation, and 39% catch-and-shoot mark on the season show promise that he could one day become a deadly catch-and-shooter as his career progresses. But to just talk about how Immanuel Quickley gets his buckets would simply be a discredit to his offensive game as a whole. He's also one of the best rookie playmakers that we've ever seen. No rookie in NBA history has had as high a usage rate and as many assists per game with as few turnovers per game as Immanuel Quickley. Right now, he's only averaging 1 turnover per game. IQ is great at protecting the ball, but he's also great at moving the ball. The reason that Quickley is such a great passer is the fact that he isn't always exclusively looking for an assist. He doesn't break down into these ISO-heavy possessions like a Luka, a Harden, or LeBron, mostly because he doesn't command that kind of attention yet, but he's always looking to move the ball into open space. I don't want to oversell his passing vision. Scoring is still his strong suit, and at 2.7 assists per game, he still has to work on seeing the floor better. But one facet of his playmaking game that he doesn't have to work on is the pick and roll. On nearly 6 pick and roll possessions a game, he is 91st percentile in the pick and roll. He sees the floor exceptionally well, always looking for lob threats and rollers to the hoop, as well as shooters that leak out on the perimeter. But scoring is still his mainstay out of the PNR as well. Quickley averages the 5th most points per possession on PNR attempts with players that have as many possessions as him. But Quickley's playmaking value isn't just limited to the half court. He's also great at pushing the tempo in transition and looking for big game-breaking outlet passes. He's in the 80th percentile of all players in transition and converts his transition attempts into points 53% of the time on 52% shooting splits. On the defensive side of the ball, Quickley has impressed this season, but he still has a little work to do. Players shoot 1.2% worse from the field when guarded by Quickley, and because of his massive wingspan, it's easier for him to get into positioning to defend shots. And while it is easy for him to contest shots and to get into passing lanes because of that wingspan, to maximize his defensive value, Quickley needs to build on his slight frame so he can't get out-leveraged by larger, stronger ball handlers. You can argue about Quickley's defensive impact game to game, but you can't argue the fact that IQ plays absolute winning basketball. The Knicks are 7 points per 100 possessions better with Quickley on the floor, and as a part of the Knicks this season, he is a part of the 5 best 5-man lineups for New York, the 3 best 4-man lineups, the best 3-man lineup, and the 2 best 2-man lineup for the Knicks this season. And note, this isn't by net points per game. Even with the limited amount of minutes Quickley has earned in this rotation, by total net points, he is a part of every conceivable best lineup for the New York Knicks. And even though it's a limited sample size, Quickley has been elite in the clutch for the Knicks this season. In the clutch, Quickley is shooting 71.4% from the field, 50% from behind the arc, and 91.7% from the line. As effective as Immanuel Quickley has been at closing out games this season, I hope to be just as effective in closing out this video. Quickley has already shown that he runs an offense and makes decisions like a high IQ veteran guard. And because he gets his buckets in such an unorthodox way that isn't built on pure athleticism, even if Quickley doesn't reach his full potential, he will still be a mainstay in this league. But if he can continue working on his budding defensive game and shot from behind the arc, IQ has the potential to be one of the greatest guards ever. If you have made it this far in the video, I thank you so much for watching, and if you are interested in more in-depth NBA analysis, I do a podcast with my buddy Carson Brever, who made the impeccable Nikola Jokic video. I implore you to check it out. We do 3 shows a week. We do 1 historical show a week, and then we do 2 NBA shows a week on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I implore you all to please check those out and to subscribe, and I hope to see you all soon.